One of the biggest questions I get asked when people are planning a trip to Liberia is, Loretta, how do I get around? And I understand that question so much because based on experience traveling, transportation can either break or make your trip. And I'm not kidding. So into this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the top modes of transportation in Liberia and letting you know who they're good for, who they're not good for, and basically how to navigate the transportation system in Liberia. The first on my list is keke. So in Liberia, we call it keke, but you might know it as tricycle, the transportation that has 3 tires. It is one of the most popular forms of transportation in Liberia. Where can you find keke in Liberia? You'll find keke in a lot of communities in Monrovia. They usually ride on the avenues, not on the major road in Cinco itself. They were stopped from doing that because they cause a lot of traffic. So you usually find them in a lot of communities, in Painesville, in Red Light, in Waterside, on Bourgeois Island. And in Liberia, most people, including myself, use keke to go to work, to go to school, to go to the market, to just about do anything that we can do within Monrovia, within Montserrat, to be honest. The advantages for keke is they're available almost everywhere. You turn left, you see keke. If I leave the establishment that I am at right now and I go outside, the odds of me seeing a keke is very high. That's how accessible they are. And they're quicker than other vehicles. They're able to navigate easily. They're able to bypass traffic, which is why I love to get on keke. But here is something you should know. Despite the small size, keke usually take 3 passengers at the back. So it's a shared form of transportation. And another advantage in the dry season, because in rainy season, they usually have a little leather cloth that they use to cover the windows, but it's open. So a lot of breeze comes in, and you also get to see different parts of Liberia as you're moving from one destination to another. So that's a really good plus. Ticket prices usually range from 50 to 300 LD. Depends on where you're going and where you're coming from. The next option is public taxis. Now, before we had kekes in Liberia, we had taxis, and they're here to stay. They're allowed to go anywhere in Liberia. They go to the airport, they drive between counties, wherever taxi, wherever someone can transport you and the road is good, you will find a taxi there. And most public taxis operate shared routes. Like the keke taxis take 3 at the back, or they're supposed to, but most of the time they take 4 at the back and 2 at the front. So if you're in Montserrat, the odds of getting 3 people at the back and 1 person at the front is very high because there are police officers on the road. But if you're taking taxi from Montserrat to Rabosport, you have 2 passengers at the front and 4 passengers at the back. So you're just stuck up like sardines, which is really crazy, but that's shared transportation in Liberia. Their prices range from 50 LD to 300, no, as far as 20 USD, because it depends on your location. For example, from Douala to Rabosport, that's 10 USD. So if there are different prices when it comes to taxi, but it's also one of the most affordable options in Liberia. And it's good to get on in dry season and rainy season because of the windshields. So you're saved from the rain and from the sun. So that's really good. And because taxis are shared, they often stop a lot to drop off passengers and pick up passengers. So if you're in rush or if you have luggages, the best option for you would be private transportation. Now let's talk about motorbikes. I don't like getting on bikes. I used to get on bikes a lot, and trust me, there are certain situations in Liberia that would require you getting on bikes because most of the roads in rural Liberia are not very good for taxis or keke. You don't even see keke there. So you have to get on bikes to move from one place to another. For example, when I'm traveling within rural Liberia and I have to move from Banga to Sanoye, I have to get on bike. That's the only option. Or I use a very expensive 4Runner private vehicle. Sometimes they charge 200 per day for those vehicles without gas. Yeah, I'm getting on bike. Now, bikes usually run in communities. You don't find them on major streets anymore because a lot of times you'll find bike riders checking phones. They're stealing from people. Because of that, the president stopped bikes from operating on major roads. You only find them doing delivery. But when you get to communities, you will find bikes there. Now, they're faster than keke. They navigate traffic better than keke, but it's now one of the safest form of transportation in Liberia. A lot of motorcyclists run, and you never know what's going to happen. So would I recommend this for anyone? No. Unless you're in an emergency or it is very needed, then I would recommend you get on bike. But it's also an option, so I just wanted you to know. Next is private car rental. Now, this is my favorite. My clients have spoiled me. So, if you didn't know, I own a travel business in Liberia where I host tours. I arrange airport pickup and drop off and transportation in Liberia. I love private transportation. Now it doesn't feel right to go to Robertsport on public transport anymore because my clients have spoiled me. But this is the most expensive. Oh my days. Private transportation in Liberia is very expensive, but you own it for that moment. You get to tell the driver where to go, how to drive, and it's also very, very comfortable and nice. So if you're within Liberia already and you have the money, private transportation is what I would recommend because there is no concern about safety. You can share your location, you're paying. So this driver is always with you. They can also, drivers can also help you navigate when you're trying to buy something so that you do not get cheated. And it's fully AC. So I would recommend a private transportation if that's something you can afford. Now the last option is bus. I used to get on bus a lot, and I love getting on buses. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not in school anymore, so I don't have the time to get on bus a lot. Now this is the cheapest form of transportation in Liberia. You can get on the NTA bus, that's the National Transportation Bus. Wherever it takes you from within Monrovia, you pay 50 LD. That's a really good price compared to 250 on Keke or 300 on taxi. So that's really recommended. The only problem with bus is, okay, there are a lot of problems with bus, but a few problems I have with buses in Liberia. One, they stop a lot, especially the smaller buses that go in red light. Oh my days, they will stop like maybe 50 times before you get to red light or where you're going. So if you're traveling and so if you're going somewhere you have time to spare, I would recommend getting on a bus. Buses are also not the most clean form of transportation in Liberia. Sometimes the seats are dirty, the interior is dirty, and people are just jammed up together, so there's a lot of smell that's not good or pleasant. So that's something to take in mind also. So just to give a summary, in this video we talked about keke, motorcycles, private transportation, taxi, and buses. So 5 major modes of transportation that we currently have in Liberia. If you're going for speed and you're in rush, I would recommend bike, keke. If you're trying to get on a ride that's safe, I would recommend taxi and private transportation. And if you're trying to waste time while you're on your way to somewhere, I would recommend bus. Now, transportation might seem like such an easy thing, but it's not really easy. So these are some things you should also check before you get on any transportation. For private car rentals, you will always find their rates on their pages, or when you call them or reach out to them on WhatsApp, they will let you know their prices before you book their rides. But for public transportation, wherever you're going, ask for the fare before you go, because a lot of times these drivers will change their mind. And if you're already using these public forms of transportation, if you paid 150 yesterday and you're getting on keke again today from that same location, ask for the fare again, because sometimes they carry prices up, especially when they notice you're foreign and you're strange to Liberia. So always ask for the rates talk to the passengers next to you. And if you see a car with a lot of dark windshields for private transportation, don't get on it. Just don't. It might not be safe. For public transportation in Liberia, we do not use dark windshields. And also just let your instincts to guide you. If you need more help arranging your airport pickup and drop off or your private rides within Liberia, you can reach out to my travel company, LBC Tours and Travel. The link and email is in the description box. You can reach out to us, and we're definitely gonna make sure your time in Liberia is seamless and comfortable. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being so consistent. And I hope you didn't mind the whole thing going on there because it's like so crazy. But thank you for watching this video. I'm so grateful. Bye-bye.